Well, more Twins ineptitude this weekend. Lost 2 out of 3 to the Pirates. I saw some people, you know, mocking the Pirates coming into the series like, we're facing the bottom feeder Pirates. We're going to turn it around now. How'd that work? This is just a terrible, terrible baseball team. And I don't see it improving much. I really don't. Um, you know, it's gone beyond just Rocco being an idiot. Kind of this entire organizational philosophy that they've got is just malfunctioning. They built this thing around. We're gonna hit the ball hard. We're gonna do launch angle. We're gonna do this stuff, and that's how we're gonna score runs. But what is the plan B? If the ball's not going over the fence, what is the plan B to score? They don't have one. And this ineptitude at the plate, this is going to continue. And because this counting today, this was for what was it, 10 of their last 11 games, they've scored 18 runs combined. That's less than 2 runs a game in those games. And they had that one outlier where they scored 12, but even that one they lost. So like it's not sustainable. You can't win baseball games with any sort of consistency, scoring runs the way they're scoring runs. And they have a lot of issues with the pitching staff too. Their pitching does not look like the kind of pitching staff that can can consistently win you games either. Like that, they've got issues. Starting rotation has been shaky. They've had highlight starts from just about everybody, but they've also had shaky starts from just about everybody. And they've had good outings from just about everybody in the bullpen, except for Colome. And they've had bad outings from just about everybody. Like the only one who hasn't been bad in the bullpen at least once, I think, is Taylor Rogers. But the issue is the lineup, and they're this inept, and that's with Cruz mashing. He hit a home run today again. That's with Buxton hitting damn like 400, just playing at an MVP level. Arise being an on-base machine. Donaldson's looked all right since he's been back. Even Polanco has sort of gotten a couple good hits. And Astudillo. You want to mock Astudillo all you want. That guy at least goes out there and gets a hit once in a while. Like, and obviously he hit a home run on Friday. Like, he's not an automatic out. He's not an impact hitter, but he's not a complete joke either. And a lot of these guys are jokes. You go with the four, like the four that are the problem. Because I don't consider like Jake Cave a problem because he's a backup player who really shouldn't be playing anyway. The four guys who are a problem are Miguel Sano, Mitch Garver, Jorge Polanco, and Max Kepler. All four of them have just cratered. And like I said, Polanco's gotten a couple hits, but he's still barely batting 200. And Garver and Sano in particular are basically unplayable. I mean, maybe it's a legitimate injury with Sano, but they put him on the injured list. I think they just put him on there just to give him an excuse to not have to put him in the lineup. These were guys who you were counting on, not to be major pieces of your team for years to come. Like, not just, hey, they had big years in 2019. No, these were supposed to be like part of your core, like them and Yed and Buxton. Like, that was your core. That's a big part of your core lineup that is just completely cratered since 2019. And because these guys were all shitty last year, and everyone used the excuse, "Oh, it's just a weird year. It's 2020. It's weird. They didn't have the proper ramp up to the season and all these other excuses." or with Polanco always hurt. Well, guess what? All four of them have shit the fucking bed this year too. All four of them were bad in the spring, and all we keep hearing is, "Oh, these things don't matter. Oh, they're gonna be fine." No, they're not. You know. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to hit at the putrid levels they've been hitting at, but they're not. They're not going back to 2019 levels. And you know, this lineup is so top heavy. Like the top few guys, like Buxton, Cruz, Arise, Donaldson, now, like most games they're producing something. You know, but they can't produce. They're not going to do it every single game. They're going to have. Cruz is going to have an 0 for 4. Buxton's going to go have an 0 for 4. Like you can't rely on that every single game. And they have no just like they have no plan B for how to score runs. They have no plan B if the top guys aren't producing the runs. This is not going to change. If anything, it might get worse. Buxton's not going to hit 400 all year. Cruz is. Cruz might be ageless. He might not be. But it's going to get worse. It really might get worse. Because you have to count on a bunch of guys to just magically revert to their 2019 form, which in most cases they were never anything close to that. Particularly Garver. Garver was never anything close to what he was in 2019, like before or since. Like that's looking like one of the fluke seasons in the history of the franchise. So I don't know what their solution is, and they have problems everywhere. They have problems in the field. They make mistakes in the field. They had a it seems like almost every game there's a bad throw or something. They're bad at the plate. They're shaky on the mound, and Rocco's a moron. They're 7-13, so they're basically losing 2/3 of their games. I don't think they're going to lose 2/3 of their games all year long, because that would mean they lose well over 100, I think. But they're the only thing saving them right now is there's really not great teams in the American League Central, because that's the only thing that can save them right now. Because then this is not a team that's going to win like 95 games or something like that, like a lot of us thought coming into the season. No, they're going to be lucky to win 85 at this point. I don't think this is just a bad couple of weeks. I think this is what they are. They're a top heavy lineup with a decent pitching staff, but not a pitching staff that is going to be able to carry a team. Certainly not carry a team that's scoring 2 runs a game most of the time. I mean, I think they're in real trouble, and I think anyone who's the apologists for Rocco, or for just the team in general, like they better wake up, because you can say all you want about, look at the Nationals a couple years ago, they were like 19-30 and they won the World Series, or look at the 06 Twins, they turned it around, or eventually just for every example of one of those teams that turned it around, there's hundreds of examples of teams that had starts like that and didn't turn it around. And I don't think there's any. I'm already I'm already like one more bad week from just completely giving up on the season, as far as any playoff situation goes. And they have almost their entire division schedule left, so that'll help. But they can't beat the Pirates at home. I mean, it's hard to. They scored 6 runs in 3 games. It's hard to look at. It's hard to be positive right now, because right now this is looking like one of the big flop seasons in the history of the franchise.